Welcome, everybody. The NFL regular season is over, which means it's time to look forward to the NFL offseason. I'm Joe at the Game House, and today we're going to be doing an NFL mock draft for the Washington Commanders. The Washington Commanders are up in our mock draft series here at thegamehouse.com. We're going to be using the NFL mock draft database simulator. I like it because it meshes all the big boards from across the internet together for their big board on this simulator. I also like doing this without any trades. It's still really early in the process, so just accepting trades from a simulator just doesn't seem really, honestly, realistic with how some of the trades come in. So let's get this thing started. Ron Rivera out, new ownership in. So they take Jaden Daniels with the number one pick. Probably not going to happen, but let's just take Caleb Williams. Maybe there's the hometown kid there for Washington coming back. It would be a really good story. Maybe the Bears don't take Caleb Williams for whatever reason and trade out of the pick, and the Commanders move up. There is a possibility the Commanders do get Caleb Williams. I do think that he'll end up being the number one pick, though, as things currently sit right now. Would be a good thing to get a franchise quarterback for the future. And now they can focus on other needs here for the Commanders. As you can see, there's a lot of offensive needs on this team. It's a lot of offense. There's also some defense. They traded away Chase Young, Montez Sweat as well, so they could get some edge rushers here. For me, I'll go. I think they've taken so many receivers over the last couple of years that like getting one would be good, but you're not going to get a number one necessarily at this range necessarily. I'll go Tyler Guyton. He's a guy who has a lot of athletic ability, but maybe hasn't turned into the best tackle quite yet. With some development, he can definitely be a better player down the line. Another pick here at 40. Washington has a pretty good draft capital here. Let's go. Oh boy, let's go with. Let's go with Graham Barton. Let's fix the offensive line completely here. Graham Barton could play pretty much anywhere on the offensive line. Lots of versatility there. And gives the Commanders options of what they do in the future. You make sure that your investment at quarterback is protected. You have, Terry McLaurin. You have guys at wide receiver, Jahan Dotson, to help him out as he goes along. Curtis Samuel as well. It makes me kind of sad that we missed out on Jackson Powers Johnson, who's a very good interior lineman here, when we could have had a different player. But still, nonetheless, I think they can get some good players here as well. They really want me to take a wide receiver here. It might end up being the move. Linebackers have been a little bit better. Yeah, let's go Malachi Corley. Let's get a wide receiver that I guess can be a guy that comes in with Caleb Williams and kind of grow with him. We saw, C.J. Stroud get Tank Dell this year. Tank Dell played well. Malachi Corley, more of a Debo Samuel mold. He can be used in different ways and kind of help that offense as like a runner, as like a guy who runs after the catch. That can be really good. Let's go now with, I think we're going to go, let's go Jonah Ellis from Utah. He had a big year. Not a guy who was on a lot of radars to start the year, but had a big year at Utah, pressuring the passer. And then there's still picks here. We can go 102 as well. A lot of picks that are really close to each other for this Washington class. And let's not beef. Let's get DJ James, the corner out of Auburn. He's really impressed the last several years in the SEC. Can help that secondary a little bit out here, give some depth. Hopefully, he can play some special teams for you as well. And that takes us to pick number 137. Now, they want me to take running back and tight end. If tight ends aren't specifically going to fall to you, it's not like the greatest thing to always reach on them. Let's see what we can get here. I kind of like Cole Bishop as a player. He's a guy who's made some plays in the back end of that Utah team as well. Running backs, maybe not as much value as you would have liked at this point. You thought like running backs would be available. Yeah, let's go Cole Bishop. He's a guy who made plenty of plays for Utah, and it can be a really good player. I think can provide on special teams as well, so that's not a bad pick whatsoever. And we can get a running back later in the draft. We're seeing a lot more late drafted running backs make impacts. James Robinson for 1 year at least. Kyron Williams had a very big year this year. There's plenty of guys, and let's see what we can get here. Let's see what good running back if they really want me to take one. And the same guys are still here. So let's go Dylan Johnson, a guy who helped Washington make the college football playoff. He played injured in the national championship game. A lot of heart there, and I think really was an important player more important player than he got credit for Washington because they were a team that threw the ball a lot. And that'll take us to our last pick at 219. Really trying to get guys who can compete on special teams, maybe develop and make the roster at the back end. Let's go. Let's see. Let's go with. We'll go Julian Pearl. He's a guy that's obviously high on the board there. I don't like taking the top guys all the time, but can help you out the offensive line where he took some guys, but it's always good to have the depth on the offensive line, can help protect the quarterback as they go along with their NFL career. So is it realistic that Caleb Williams drops to number 2? I guess we'll find out, and maybe the Commanders will have to move up to get him. Tyler Guyton is a guy who, again, a lot of athletic ability needs to develop. Graham Barton is a guy who's ready to play right away. You just got to figure out what position he is. Malachi Corley, a lot of run after the catch ability, and can help as a young receiver for Caleb Williams as he gets started. Jonah Ellis, a lot of production at Utah. DJ James, Cole Bishop, and Dylan Johnson. Julian Pearl as well, maybe provide special teams value. Let me know what you think of the picks down below. We'll be back with more mock drafts as we go along here.